Hi guys, welcome back to a new video on this channel. So this video is going to be about Git and GitHub. So specifically this video is going to be about how you can install and set Git on your system and what is Git and GitHub. So I will try to keep this video as short as possible, and I will try to keep everything very simple and to the point. So without any further ado, let's get started. So first open your favorite browser. It can be Google Chrome, Firefox, or anything you like. Then search for download Git. So once you search for download Git, the first website you'll get to see on the search results is Git SCM. So just open it and Git will start downloading on your system. So basically you just need to click on your operating system. As you can see, it is whether it is Mac OS or Windows or Linux, all the three options are available here. You can just select your operating system. In my case it is Windows, and as you can see, this is the latest version for Windows. So as I have already installed it, I will not install it again in my system, and I am assuming you already know how to install a software. Just keep everything on default and keep clicking on next. The default settings are much better, works just fine. And after you install it, installation is pretty simple. It's just like any other software. You just need to run the exe or setup file, and you just need to keep clicking on next, and it will install. So once you install Git on your system, what you need to do is you need to create a folder anywhere on your system. It can be on documents or desktop or whatever, so wherever. So I have created a folder on desktop. So this is the folder. The name of the folder is just Git, and what I will do here is I will just right click over here in the folder, and then I will click on show more options, and here you can see two options. The first one is Git GUI, which is the graphical user interface, and the second one is Git Bash. So GUI is the graphical user interface. So I will suggest you that you stick to the Git Bash over here, because it is a command line interface, and most programmers use command line interface because it gives you more control. And you also have a GUI or a graphical user interface, but I would suggest that you stick to the Bash because it gives you more control and it helps you learn better. So yeah, just click on Git Bash. So Git Bash basically works on Unix. So whenever you open this terminal, it's just like a Linux system inside your Windows machine. So if you have already used WSL or Windows subsystem for Linux, you already know what a Linux system inside Windows looks like and how it works like. So it's basically just like a Linux terminal. So let's say I can also run Python over here. If it is installed on your system, you can run Python by typing in Python, right? So as you can see, it is just like a Linux system. It works on Unix. It's just like a Linux system inside the Windows. So it's like Windows subsystem for Linux. So this is called Git Bash. So now let's talk a bit about the version control system. So we are using Git and GitHub. So what is Git? Git is a version control system. So what exactly is a version control? So basically, version control is a system that records changes that are made to a file or a set of files over time. So you have all your code files inside a folder, and you make some changes in those code files over time, and all those changes are tracked by a system which is called a version control system. And suppose you lost a specific file, you can restore it. Or if you edited a file and it went wrong, something went wrong, you can revert back to the previous version. So basically you can do all of these things using a version control system. So there are a few terms that you need to keep in mind. So a folder is also called repository. So this is a folder, right? I have created a folder in desktop, and I opened the folder. So this folder can also be called a repository. Then we have something called commit. So once you save edits or changes made to the snapshot of your files, it is called a commit. So once you like push it to the repository, it is called a commit. So basically what is push? So push is sending changes made locally to the repository. So once you made some changes locally in the repository, you need to push it to the remote server, which is in GitHub, which we will talk about later in this video. Then there's pull, and then there's staging. So we will talk about all of these in later parts of this video or in some other video. So let's just stick to the topic right now. So first things first, what you need to do is you need to configure your email and your username in Git Bash. So this is the terminal, or this is the Git Bash. So first thing you need to do is you need to configure your username. So you need to type in the command git config -- or -- whatever you call it, global user.name, and this is the username. In my case it is Ghosh 111. It can be anything in your case, right? So as you can see, it has already configured the username. Now again the same thing, but in this case it will be email. So write your own username and write your own email here. Don't just copy mine. So this is my email. Alright, so it configured my username and my email. So now what you need to do is you need to just open your code editor. So it can be anything. In my case, I mostly use VS Code. I mostly use Sublime Text, but you can also use VS Code, and using VS Code is pretty simple. Along with Git Bash, you can just configure the terminal inside, configure Git Bash inside of VS Code terminal, and you can just directly open VS Code by typing in code dot and hit enter. So once you do this, VS Code will open up. It should open up. It opens up usually. Let's just see. This is my first time I'm doing this on this PC. Alright, yeah, so it opened up. Yeah, so this is Visual Studio Code, as you can see over here, and it opened the just git folder, which is the folder we are working on in the bash terminal. Just click on yes, I trust the authors. So let's just create a file. Let's give it a name, home.html. home.html. Right, so now what we will do is we will just use a boilerplate. Okay, so this is the boilerplate. Let's just give it a title, which is home page, and let's just in the body tag, let's just give a header, which is home page, right? And then just save it. So once you save it, and let me just go back to the folder, you can see home.html, Chrome HTML document. So it's saved. So now what you need to do is you need to just initialize this folder. So how will you do that in Git? You will just open the terminal and you will just type in git init, right? And hit enter. And it might take some time when you do it for the first time. So now as you can see, initialized empty git repository in this particular location. and as you can see, it has already initialized Git. As you can see, a folder over here. So in most cases, if this is like a hidden file, hidden folder, so in most cases this will not show up if you have not enabled view hidden files. So in that case, what you can do to make sure that this it has initialized successfully and this kind of this folder has appeared over here, what you can do if it not shows up is you can type in a command to see if it worked properly, which is ls-lart. This command helps you see the hidden files and folders inside a folder, and as you can see, this one showed up, right? So it worked. Now what you need to do is you need to type in clear if you want to clear the window. This will just clear the view for you. Now what you need to do is you need to type in git status or git status, whatever you call it. So now you can see here are on branch master, we are using the branch master, and I will talk about it later in this video. There are different branches. If you create different branches, there are different branches, but this is the main branch which we call master. And as you can see, there are no commits yet. We have not committed any file, and there are untracked files, which means this file, there's only one file, which is home.html. This file is not added, so that's why it is tracked. We have not added it into Git. This file is present inside this folder, but we have not added it in the Git, so that is why it is untracked. So once you add it in the Git, it is tracked, it moves to tracked, and then you can modify the file, and then again after modifying the file you can save it, and then again you can add it, and then you can move it to the staging area. So staging area is the area where you have prepared the file for commit, and once you move the file to the staging area, it is ready for commit. Ready for commit means you can push it to the remote repository. So that is the case. So in this case, this is home.html. Let's just add this file to Git, and the command is very simple: git add home.html. You can just note these commands: git add home.html, and hit enter. Now as you can see, it gave me no response. So how will I know that this particular file has been added? So again, you have to run git status. You can just keep on running git status after time to just check. Okay, as you can see, new file home.html. So that means this is added. So there's no problem with it, right? So now what you can do is, let's just commit this. We have added a file. Let's just make a commit. So again, this is very simple: git commit. Now the problem with this is there are different ways to commit a file. So let's say you can commit in one command by adding a message, the commit message, or you can just make it multiple commands. Like if I write git commit and hit enter, it will open up in Vim, and Vim is an editor inside the bash, and then again I can type in the message and quit the Vim editor and save it, and then again it will just commit with the commit message. But let me just show you a shortcut, which is git commit, and you hit space -m, which is the message, and you can write in added home.html. So basically, don't write something like this. Don't write these kind of messages in your original workspace, because it's very dumb, right? Like, why would you write added home.html? Because the file name says so. You have to add something which gives value. Alright, so let's just do it for the sake of the tutorial. Git commit -m space added home.html. This is the commit message. So let's just hit enter. Now as you can see this, as you can see over here, added home.html, one file changed, 11 insertions, create mode, this home.html. Let's just run git status again and see what's the status. As you can see, git status on branch master, nothing to commit, working tree clean. Alright, so this working tree is clean because all the files are added and all the files are committed, because there was only one file. We have added the file and we have committed the file. Alright, so let's just create some other files. Touch is a command to create files. Let's just write something, touch hello.html. As you can see, here's this new file created over here. Then write touch contact.html. And you will see a new file popping up over here. Alright, so let's go to home.html, copy this and paste it on contact.html. Let's just write contact page. Contact. Save it. So to hello.html. Okay, so there's a mistake. Yes. Right. Copy and paste. Right, so here's our file. Now let's just there are 3 files over here, so let's just have a look at the working directory. So this is what we call the working directory inside this folder. So as you can see, this home.html is what we have just added and what we have just committed. We have committed this home.html file. And now there are 2 more files which are not committed, alright, which are not even added. So let's just check git status and hit enter. And now as you can see, untracked files. Remember, if you can recall, I have already mentioned in the beginning of this video that untracked files are the files which are not added on Git. So contact.html and hello.html, these are the 2 files that we have just created using the touch command. And as you can see, these are the 2 files that we have neither added nor committed. So you have to add in order to commit. So I can either add files one by one to Git, or I can add all the files all at once. So in this case, we have only 2 files. Let's say we have 1000 files, 100 files, not 1000, 100 or 50 files, or more than multiple files. So I cannot just add it one by one. It will be a very long process. It will be a time consuming process. So in that case, what I can do is I can add all the files at once. So I will type in the command git add -a, which is add all files, right, and hit enter. And now what Git will do is Git will search for all the files in this working directory which is not added, and it will add all the files. Then let's just run the same command again, git status. I've already told you that you have to keep it running because you need to see the status every now and then. So now you can see new file git contact.html and hello.html. So these are the 2 files which were not added. Now these are the 2 files which has been added. right? So let's just commit it by saying git commit -m and write a message, add it, contact and hello. Again, don't write such dumb commit messages. Add value. This is just for the sake of the tutorial. Hit enter and there you go. These two files have been added, contact.html, hello.html. Alright. Now let me do something stupid. Let me go to home.html and let me just change it to something gibberish like GUI something, and let's just save it, Control S. So I have saved it. Alright. So now I have messed up a file. I have screwed up royally and I have changed the content of a file. So I'm supposed to go back to the previous version of this file. I'm supposed to get the previous version of this file to make it right. So how I will do it? With the help of Git. So there's a command called git checkout. So what checkout does is it matches it to the previous commit. It gets the file to the previous commit. So I have already committed all the files, so it should do the job. So I have changed the file home.html. I have already added home.html and I have already committed home.html, right? So here as you can see, home.html has been committed. So now I will try to, I have already messed up the file. I have written something gibberish inside the file, and I will try to get back the previous version of the file which has been in the previous commit, right? So what I can do is I can type in git checkout and the name of the file is home.html, and now notice here the file will change to the previous version, to the previous commit, right? Let me just hit enter. So as you can see, it magically changed to the previous version. It's all because we have committed the previous file and we are just updating it from the previous commit. Alright, so this is how you restore the previous version if you have messed up. So now let's say you have done multiple commits. Now you want to keep a check on the number of commits you have done. Now you want to see which version you want. Let's say you have done multiple commits, like 5, 10, 20 commits, and you want to see which version you want to get back to, and it kind of you don't remember the exact number of the, you don't know the exact version you want to return to, or you don't know how many commits you have done or how many commits the people you have been working with have done. So in that case, there's a command called git log. You can check the commit logs. If I enter git log, you will see these are the commit logs. So now in this case, you can see only 2 commits because I have already done 2 commits. But if you are working in a real organization, there are multiple people. If you are working on a real project, there are multiple commits. There will be at least more than 2 commits. It will be 10, 20, 30 and so on. So in that case, you need to you cannot just type in git log. If you do so, your command line will be flooded with list of commits and it will be very hard for you to read, right? So in that case, what you can do is you can specify the number of commits you want to see. Let's say git log space -p and followed by the number, hyphen followed by the number. Let's say I want to see only 1 commit, last 1 commit. So I'll just type in 1 and hit enter. And as you can see, this is the last commit. And this is the file contact.html. Sorry, contact.html. This is the last file I have committed. So I will just type in Q to quit out of this editor. Alright, so let's just change something over here. Let's write something over here. Let's write anything like
typed
something typed. Alright, so this is nothing, but let's just type it over here and let's just save this file. And then what we are going to do is we are going to type in the command git status, and you will get to see there's there's a new file. This is the new file that I have created. Let's just ignore it. So this is the file home.html. This is modified, and this is not staged for commit. So this version of this file, the home.html version of this file, I have saved it, but I have not added it for commit. I have not staged it for commit. So it will just check the previous version. I will use a command called git diff. What it will do is it will just check this version, match this version with the version that has been staged for commit. Alright, or it has been committed. So what it basically does, it compares a particular file, a specific file, or all the files, a particular file or a set of files with the staging area. So this is the working directory. Alright, all these files are present in the working directory, and all the files that I have added to Git, there's a separate directory in Git, and all the files I have added in Git, it's called the staging directory. Alright, so this is the working directory and all the files. So think of it like this: there are 2 copies of all these files. Let's say all these files are added in the staging directory of Git. So here's a copy of working directory, here's working directory, and beside this there's another copy of all these files. Those are in the staging directory. Alright, so if I type in this command git diff, what it will do is it will check, it will match this version, which means the version of the working directory of this specific file, with the version present in the staging directory. Let's just do it. Git diff and hit enter. Now as you can see, plus typed. Plus means I have added this this line typed. Alright, so now let's just do one thing. Let's commit this. Alright, git commit modified something, right? Modified, and hit enter. Okay, so what I did is this one, new.html. I have not added this specific file, so it's my mistake. So git add -a, it will add all the files. Alright, so after adding the file you can commit it. So I have added new, so new file has been committed, but I have to add this file. So in this case I have added all these files by using git add a, and now what I will do is I will just commit the file, commit the HTML file with this typed tags, and as you can see it showed up over here. I have changed this as it compared it with the staging area, compared the working directory version with the staging area. So git commit let's just type in typed edit. Again, this is just for the sake of the tutorial. Hit enter, and as you can see, one file changed, one insertion. And now type in git status, hit enter. On branch master, nothing to commit. Working tree is clean. Now we will type in a command which is very similar to git diff. The only difference is in git diff it compares working directory to staging area. Now in this command what we will do is we will compare the staging area to the last commit. So we will use something called git diff -- staged. Okay, so nothing appeared because again I have committed this. Let's just type in something, akg So this is not a tag, just for the sake of it. So what it does, it compares the staging area with the last commit, right? So git add -a, so I've added it. It means it's onto the staging area. Now we will type this command git diff staged. Alright, so now you can see in the difference it is akg plus added, which means this is comparing the staging area with the last commit. In the last commit there was this typed, and in this staging area there's this insertion of akg. Alright, so that is how you do it. Now let's just remove this two and just save this file. Again, let's just commit this version git add a git commit. Updated home. Alright, let's hit enter. One file changed, one deletion. Now type in git status. So git status you have to type in again and again from time to time, just to check whether the working tree is clean or not, whether there's anything to commit or not. So let's say you want to skip the staging area and directly want to go to the commit thing. So you can add new files and you can directly commit it by git commit -a-m, just like this, git commit -a-m, and you can type in skip staging or something, skip staging directly, or directly committed or some directly committed or something like that. Alright, you can do it like this and you can hit enter. So using that you can directly commit without staging. Again, git log is something you can use to check out the log of the commits. So these are all the logs, and I have already mentioned it previously in this video. You just need to type in Q to exit out of this view. So now let's say you want to remove a specific file. So this is the file which I have so this is the file which I have added. It's a blank file. Let's say I want to remove it. Alright, so how to remove a specific file? So I will just type in the command git rm new.html. New.html is the file name. So new.html and hit enter. So as you can see, Git has removed the file. Now this is something, this command, I have used this command called git rm new.html. This command, what it does is it removes this file, it removes the file from the working directory as well as the staging directory. Let's say we want to remove something from the staging area only. Let's say we want to remove contact, right? So we will type in git rm chd catched or cached, whatever you call it, hello.html. so we want to remove hello, so hello.html. so it will remove hello.html from not only from the working area, but it will only move from the staging area. Alright, so only from the staging area it will remove hello.html only from the staging area. But in case of git rm, what it did was it removed from working and stage. And in git rm cached, what it will do is it will remove from the staging area only. Let's just do it, hit enter. So rm hello.html, so it removed hello.html, right? But you can still see it here. Why? Because it only removes from the staging area. It does not remove from the working directory. If it removed from the working directory, like in the last case, like in new.html, it got removed. But in this case, we are not removing it from the working directory. So that's why you can see it over here, but it's not there in the staging directory. So let's just type in git status and hit enter, and you can see hello.html is an untracked file because we removed it from the staging directory. Alright, now if you want to add it back, just type in git add hello.html. It will be added back into the staging directory. Type in git status again, hit enter. So you can see new.html removed and this thing is added, right? So yeah, this is how you add a file, delete a file. Adding is something that I have shown you previously, but deleting a file is very similar to this, which is this thing, git rm cached and git rm new html, new.git rm file name, sorry. Now previously we have talked about branches. If you can recall, we are working on master branch. So master branch is a branch by default. You can form different branches and you will get a copy of all the files over there, and you can edit it, change it without affecting the main branch or the master branch. You can also see in this thing, Visual Studio Code, you can see master branch. We are working on the master branch. Let's say master branch is deployed and is on production. It is already deployed and you want to add a new feature, you want to add anything new, you want to just customize it further. So you will not work on the master branch because you don't want to like screw up the master branch. You don't want to mess with the master branch. So in that case, you will add a new branch. You will work on it when the organizers, when the people like on the top management approves it. You will merge it with the master branch and it will show up. So how to do that? Let's find out. Now to clear out this screen, you can type in clear and hit enter. It will get cleared. Let's type in clear again. So now you have a clear screen. What you can do to create new branch is type in the command git branch. Let's say new branch. Don't name it like this. Name it like, the naming should be very relevant to what you are trying to achieve, but just for the sake of the tutorial, this is new branch, and hit enter. So new branch has been created. So now if you want to see all the branches, just type in git branch and hit enter. You can see two branches over here. The master branch is in green, the new branch is in white, and you can see an asterisk over here. So this means that the master branch is selected by default, and let's say you want to switch to the second branch, which is new branch. How you can do that? Let's type in a command git checkout and type in new branch, and it will switch from master branch to new branch. Hit enter. As you can see, switch to new branch. It is showing D new HTML. This is because it's not added. Alright. So now let's type in git status and hit enter. So now this is on new branches. This is where you are on the new branch. So now let's just do one thing. Let's add all the files and commit. Before that, let's do one thing. So this is the new branch. All right. So here we can do any changes. Hello, this is new branch, and let's just save it. This is home.html. Let's go to sorry, that was hello.html. This is home.html. Let's just type in new branch. All right, let's just save it. So after you save it, let's just go back to git bash and type in the command git add -a, which will add all the files in the new branch. It will stage it. Now let's go to commit, git commit -m fixed some issues in as a new branch or something like this, but this is just for the sake of the tutorial. Don't take it seriously. Alright, so okay, so now you can see 3 files changed, 2 insertions, 2 deletions. Alright, so now what we are going to do is we are going to switch back to master. So we will type in the command we typed into switch to this branch. So we are going to use the same command to switch to master, which is git checkout master, and hit enter. So now we will switch to master branch. Alright. So now once we switch to master branch, if you have noticed over here, we have written in the new branch home page new branch, but in here it has not changed a single thing because this is on master branch, but we have changed it on new branch. Let me just show you by switching back again. Just notice on this part of the screen. All right, notice here we are switching to new branch. Git checkout new branch, hit enter. Look here, you can see git homepage new branch. All right, let's just then switch to master. This will change, and a lot of other files inside the other files will change. All right, so here you can see new.html, but in case of master new branch, there is no new.html. It is deleted. All right, so now let's say you want to merge the new branch with the master branch. So that is also very simple. Just type in the command git merge and new branch, hit enter. So it will merge, and as you can see, right, you can see the updates over here. 3 files, hello.html, 2 insertions, 2 deletions, and this. All right, plus stands for insertion, minus stands for deletion, and it also gives you in the text format 3 files changed, 2 insertions, 2 deletions. Now the main thing comes into play, which is GitHub. So I have already made a video about GitHub. If you don't know about it, if you have no idea about what GitHub is, just check it out. So just go to github.com and create an account. So GitHub is free. Just go ahead and create an account. It is the most widely used version control management system that I have used, that many people use in this space. So just use github.com, just click on sign in and create an account if you don't have an account already. So after you go to github.com, after you sign up, what you need to do is you need to set up an SSH key in order to access GitHub from your Git Bash, in order to push your repository. So whatever work you have done as of now, the working directory, the stage directory, is all on your computer, but you want to push it to a remote server from where people can download, people can access, people can pull, and people can contribute. All right, so you will obviously not be sharing your laptop with people like on your team. So what you can do is you can upload it on GitHub. You can add it as a private repository. If it is a private project, you can add contributors, or if it is a public project or public open source project, just add it as a public repository. So what you need to do first is you need to go to settings. You need to create your SSH key in order to access GitHub, in order to publish to GitHub repositories, in order to push your code, push your files to GitHub repositories. So once you go to settings, once you create an account and once you go to settings, you will get to see something like this in the settings, which is SSH and GPG keys. All right, so just click on it, and there's a process of creating these keys. And as you can see, I have already created a key which is my laptop. I have named it as my laptop because I can use it from my laptop. How to do it? Just type in GitHub generate SSH key. All right, And this documentation, just follow it step by step. It is very simple. Just don't get confused, read it properly, and you can do it yourself. So I'm not going to show it to you in this video. It's going to be a bit longer if I show you, and if you want it, just comment below. I will just create a separate video for it. So but it is very simple. If you code, if you are a programmer, you need to figure out some stuff by yourself. All right, so yeah, now what you need to do is you need to type in git remote, type in this command in the command line, git remote. Before that, let's just do one thing. Let's just go to github.com and create a new repository. Let's go to repositories, or you can click on this create new on the top, click on new repository, and you can type in the name, just anything. So in this case I will type in just git, just for the sake of tutorial, just for the tutorial, and I will choose private, click on private, and click on create repository. So once I click on create repository, I'll get to see something like this. You'll get to see something like this in the code section. You can see HTTP or SSH. By default it is SSH, alright, or you can click on SSH, right? So just copy it and go back to your command line or git bash and type in the command git remote -v and hit enter. Now type in the command git push origin master, hit enter. Okay, so origin is not it does not appear to be a git repository. So what you need to do is you need to upload the details over here. So we will just copy this SSH from GitHub, and then we will just go to git bash. Let's just type in clear to clear out our view. Let's just drag it over here, and we need to type in the command git remote and type in set URL origin. This is what we are going to name it, and we are going to paste the SSH URL and hit enter. No such remote as origin. Alright, so actually I ran into some issues. So this is the command git remote add origin and SSH that we have just copied from GitHub. So this is the SSH, alright. So this is the SSH you just copied from GitHub, and you just copy it from here and you just paste it in the command line beside this command. Now what we want to do is we want to push it to GitHub, push all the files to GitHub. So git push -u origin master, hit enter. So once you do that, it will take some time. It will upload all the files and you'll get to see. So just click on Y, yes, hit enter. Permanently added git. So this is the first time I'm doing it using this SSH key. So this is the process. It will show you that do you want to add permanently or not. So set branch master set to track remote branch master from origin. Now if you go back to GitHub and if you just hit reload or refresh the page, you can see I have added all the files has been added, and with all the commit messages. And now there was only one branch over here. If you go to it, you can see master. By default it is master, because the new branch that we have created, we have already merged it, so it will only show master branch. Alright, now if we go to commits, we can see all the commits that we have made. So these are all the commits. There are 6 commits we have made. Let's say we want to see a specific commit, we want to see the code for a specific commit, so we can look at a specific version. In that case, you can see there are specific keys for this commit, and if we click on it, we can see the code. Sorry, this is the SHA, but if we click on it, we can see the code, and we can see the highlighted, the plus and the minus. I have already told you, minus is what we have deletion and plus is insertion. So yeah, this is all about Git and GitHub. If you want to see a playlist on this, if you want to see a bit detailed tutorial, just comment below. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more of such videos, more of this kind of videos, just hit the subscribe and tap the bell icon. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for the next one.